And welcome back to Politically Speaking. We're going to switch gears now. We're talking to the Mississauga Crime Prevention Association. I'd like to introduce you to my guests for this segment. Let's start with Sue McFadden. You're the chair of the Mississauga Crime Prevention Association. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And Ian Cunningham, we've had you on the show before. You're the executive director. Welcome back.
You.
So firstly, let's just talk a little bit about the organization itself. When was it started? Give us a little bit of a background.
Mississauga Crime Prevention Association was founded in 1992, so we've been around for a long time. It was the amalgamation of three then existing crime prevention organizations, and we are a dynamic partnership among the City of Mississauga, Peel Regional Police, and the Mississauga Board of Trade. We have this vision or this notion of creating a Mississauga that is crime-free, so that's kind of our driving vision. And we're mandated to provide programs and services and information that contribute to the reduction of crime in Mississauga, and programs that make residents and visitors feel that they're safe in Mississauga.
Okay, so Mississauga, the safest city. And perhaps some viewers watching wouldn't necessarily agree with that. Maybe there's a perception that there is more crime. Can you just talk a little bit about sort of how that statistic came about and what it means exactly?
Well, I think I can help you there. Mm-hmm. The Mississauga Crime Prevention Association has conducted comparative research over the last 5 years, and in each of those 5 years, the number of crime occurrences per 1,000 population in Mississauga has been the lowest of all the 9 largest cities in Canada. So Mississauga has earned very well the title of the safest city in Canada. And it's interesting because Mississauga is the 6th largest city in Canada, and yet it is the safest city, has the lowest incidence of crime per 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that's due to crime prevention initiatives, or is that something perhaps that you can't control as much?
Well, certainly it has a lot to do with the great work of the Peel Regional Police and the work that they do to prevent crime in the city and their proactive approach. I mean, without them, you know, we certainly wouldn't be in that position to offer those kind of statistics. And of course, all the programs that we run and they run. I mean, they run Crime Stoppers, and they run programs in our schools and as outreach programs in our community as well, along with Mississauga Crime Prevention.
Yeah, and I think it's a tribute too to the citizens of Mississauga. I mean, we're very fortunate to have a law-abiding citizenry here, and we also have people who cooperate with the police in terms of and work with the police in terms of reporting suspicious and criminal activity. Of course, the police cannot do it all alone, and the police work in partnership with the Mississauga Crime Prevention Association and citizens and school boards and to work on making Mississauga a wonderful and safe place. And we certainly enjoy a superior quality of living here in Mississauga, and the low crime rate is an important factor in that.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about the programs and services that your organization provides. I know there's certainly a number of different initiatives. Perhaps we could go through a few of them and just discuss.
Well, Ian, maybe you can start with Neighborhood Watch, because that certainly attributes to the safest city stats.
Yeah, we just celebrated the formation of our 100th Neighborhood Watch in Mississauga. And I'm not sure how that rates with the other cities in Canada, but I know that the City of Toronto only has approximately 150 what we call watches or units that we call neighborhood watches. And we are forming new neighborhood watches at the rate of, and we lose a few, but we're forming them at the rate of about 20 a year. And the interesting thing about Neighborhood Watch is that in the communities where it has been implemented, it is proven to reduce crime, and but as importantly, it's kind of, I think of it as kind of a social development piece where neighbors get to know one another, they get to know one another's families. Neighborhood Watch provides a platform in which on which a residential neighborhood, residential area can be a neighborhood, or it injects a sense of community into a residential area where people get to know one another's families, their habits. They care for one another on the dimension of crime prevention. We have 5 other core programs. Another one is our Business Crime Watch program for businesses. And in a way similar to Neighborhood Watch, we provide some safety seminars for businesses and provide them with crime statistics and tips and information relating to crime occurrences. We have a very innovative youth program that we're going to focus on in a few minutes, a youth outreach program that's now being delivered in 3 Mississauga high schools with enormous success. And we have a program called Counteract, which is an anti-vandalism program that's been delivered in Mississauga schools for more than 20 years. Wonderful and successful program as well.
Maybe I can intercept there, all free of charge.
Okay.
So there's no cost to the schools, no cost to the community, the businesses for running those types of programs. We rely strictly on our grants and donations.
That is an interesting point, as Sue points out. All of our programs are made available without cost to the participants, thanks to our partnership with the City of Mississauga and Peel Regional Police and other important partners. And I think Sue would like to talk a bit about how if citizens in Mississauga feel that they enjoy a superior quality of life, at least in part due to the good work of the Mississauga Crime Prevention Association, how they might support us a little bit.
Actually, Shirley, we're having our first fundraiser on May the 7th. It's called the Spring Fling. And we've received an outstanding amount of support over the last couple of weeks in the ways of donations and sponsorships of tables. But it's still a little shy of what we're expecting from the community. And hopefully within the next month we'll get a lot of corporate sponsorships coming in and more tables being sold. So it's May the 7th at Vic Johnson Arena, and tickets are available through the MCPA at a cost of $100, and that includes a fabulous dinner done by Lucy's Seafood, and 2 drinks and wine on the table, and a live band, and a great party, and a great chance to meet the community and people that support crime prevention in Mississauga.
So who will be attending this type of event? So some viewers are watching and thinking, you know, if they're not involved at all with your organization, can they just...
Of course. Everyone's welcome. We take everybody's money at crime prevention. We
it's
don't.
Not about the money. It's about the act of preventing crime.
It is, but we want a great mix of people at that event. We want teenagers there if they want to come, like the 19s and older, of course, because we're serving alcohol. But we want corporate community members. We want police. We want our firefighters to be there because they're all involved in crime prevention. We want your neighbors to come. We want business owners to come. So everyone's welcome, and it's a great opportunity for them to meet other people in Mississauga that are concerned about our Crime Prevention Association.
So is it more of a networking type of event then?
Of course.
It is a community. It's a community event. And it's less formal than a lot of the fundraisers. It's not a gala, it's not an awards dinner, it's not a ball. Our board of directors, when they began the thinking and the planning for this event, decided that there are a lot of wonderful but formal kinds of events, extravaganzas, galas, and so forth in Mississauga. And really what a lot of people want is something that's less casual, a typical Saturday night. Really a dinner dance fun night fundraiser, and I think it's fun and networking and community based, and those are the things that distinguish it from a lot of the other great events that are presented in Mississauga.
So the $100 per person, you obviously collect a sum of money. Where does that money go, and how is it used exactly in your organization?
Well, I mean, we have a lot of uses that money can go towards, and of course first we have to pay our costs for running this event. So I would say 3/4 of it will go to the cost to run the event, and then the rest will go to most definitely to the youth outreach program, because we found that the youth outreach program is such a success now that it's overwhelming actually in our high schools that we have to keep going, but we don't have the money to do that. So the money that we raise from this event will enable us to offer more programs in other high schools.
And we'll certainly be talking about that youth outreach program in the second half of the show. But just along the same funding lines, and certainly you have this fundraiser, but how generally is your organization funded?
We receive an operating grant from the City of Mississauga. We receive some grants that are specifically designated to programs. We have we're working on the tail end of a grant from the National Crime Prevention Center, which funded our youth program, the initial funding for the youth program. We have funding from the region of Peel as well. We have a significant amount of our revenues that come from our own fundraising activities, and of course we're enhancing those this year with the Spring Fling.
Are there any other events that you hold throughout the year that are typical annual events, or is this your main?
This is it, and I'm sure next year they'll be just beating our door down to get tickets and to make sure that they're a part of this event, because I'm sure it'll be really successful.
So just before we go to a break, just generally, citizens who want to take part in your organization somehow, you mentioned the Neighborhood Watch, are there any of your specific programs that viewers can get involved in, say volunteer with, or somehow contribute their time and help make Mississauga a safer place?
Yeah, I think Neighborhood Watch is probably the best one. And it's interesting the services that we provide to Neighborhood Watches. I say we have 100 Neighborhood Watches in Mississauga. We provide annual safety seminars, a quarterly newsletter, monthly crime statistics. So there's a lot of information and support that we provide to Neighborhood Watches to make sure they continue to be mobilized and keep working in the neighborhoods in Mississauga. So it's a great way to volunteer, and maybe if it's just delivering newsletters for the watch or setting up a website. Some of the watches have terrific websites. There's lots of ways people can become involved in a neighborhood watch, or join facilities managers and securities managers of Mississauga companies can become involved in our business crime watch program. So there's lots of opportunities, and if people want to find other ways, just give me a call.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for telling us about that. Coming up, we'll be talking about youth outreach. Don't go away.